We're going to combine a couple of topics into this one video. There's so much news that is breaking this afternoon. It's just easier to combine these into one upload. These topics are related anyway because they're equally ridiculous. They all relate to mainstream and social media pressure, which we have proven over and over again. How many times does this have to be proven? It does not make sense to base business decisions on the reactions from the media and social media. Neither one of those represent real America. I'm going to start out with Bill Simmons. I can't figure this dude out. I like Bill Simmons. Hell, I just complimented him the other day. He came up with the theory that NBC benched Michelle Tafoya for 3 weeks because of comments that she made about Colin Kaepernick on The View. I thought Bill Simmons was one of us. I thought he wasn't afraid to call out the bullshit. He's a smart dude. Bill Simmons has started multiple successful media platforms. In 4 years, he built The Ringer up to the point where he was able to sell it to Spotify. I didn't take Bill Simmons as a guy who would make his business decisions based off the reactions of the losers on Twitter. But I was wrong. Earlier this week, he had Jackie McMullen on his podcast. Jackie McMullen used to be one of the best NBA reporters in the business. Now, she's retired now from doing that, but I do think she hosts a podcast on The Ringer. I think she does host a podcast on The Ringer. But her days of actively covering the NBA are over. Anyway, while speaking with Bill Simmons, the topic of Joel Embiid and the Sixers came up. Now, I'm not sure what they were talking about. It really doesn't matter. During the conversation, Jackie McMullen did an impression of Joel Embiid. Here it is.
Just lost. And Joel Embiid's on. He's like, well, we need to have someone, we need to run the ball downhill. We need to run downhill. We need, we need
That's
to
a good
defend.
Embiid impersonation.
We need to defend. That's what we need. So
Now you tell me, did you find that offensive? Did she do or say anything offensive? No. But come on, guys. You have to consider the feelings of a social justice warrior. Woke Twitter lost their shit over this. Some blue checkmark that I've never heard of named Natalie Never Seen a Wiener. She was so offended by this impression. This is just nuts. Bill Simmons saying that was a good impression is the cherry on top of this blatant racism. Numerous others claim Jackie McMullen's impression of Joel Embiid was racist. You know, because a white woman impersonating a black man must be racist. There is no other way to describe this other than racism. The other 92% of us, we take this for what it really is. Jackie McMullen doing a harmless impersonation of Joel Embiid. Guess who was not offended by this? Joel Embiid himself. Matter of fact, he liked the video. Apparently, Joel Embiid has a sense of humor. He thought the impersonation was funny. If impersonating someone is now racist or offensive, we might as well get rid of all the favorite woke television shows. Goodbye, Saturday Night Live. SNL is nothing but impersonations. We can't have that anymore. It's offensive. Jimmy Fallon, you got to go too. Jimmy Kimmel, John Oliver. I happen to like John Oliver, but can't watch him anymore. Too offensive. Ultimately, Bill Simmons screwed up. He folded to the pressure from woke Twitter and removed the Joel Embiid impersonation from his podcast. Not only did he remove it, he then proceeded to issue the standard bullshit apology. Just a heads up, Jackie McMullen and I talked about Joel Embiid on my podcast. She did a quick impersonation of Joel. We realized afterwards it could be taken the wrong way. It was a little too late, so as a result, we uploaded an edited version as soon as we could. We apologize about that. Dude, who in the hell are you apologizing to? You're apologizing to people who don't matter. Who gives a shit if some virgin SJW was offended by this? If Joel Embiid wasn't offended by it, why should anyone else be? Anything can be taken the wrong way. Should you have to apologize anytime someone gets their feelings hurt over something? It's just ridiculous. And speaking of ridiculous, here we go again with the overreaction to the COVID. Depending on who you believe, and it's not Anthony Fauci, truth and Fauci don't belong in the same sentence, but depending on who you believe, COVID 3.0 isn't nearly as strong or dangerous as the first two variants. Let's just be honest here. COVID is not going away. We have to start treating this like the seasonal flu. We're seeing less hospitalizations, less deaths. Just because cases are spiking again doesn't mean we have to drive the COVID bus off the mountain. It is abundantly clear at this point certain politicians, along with the woke, are using the COVID to strip away your civil rights and to attempt to control you. The New York Times published an article yesterday begging sports leagues to shut down. We are calling for all sports to shut down for at least 2 months to halt the spread of this not so dangerous Omicron variant. If we're generally concerned about the greater good, all sports should shut down until February. Here we go again. Slow the spread. Remember in March of 2020, we had to shut down the entire country for 2 weeks to slow the spread? That was almost 2 years ago. It didn't work then, it won't work now. This is not about slowing the spread, it's about control. And there's that phrase again, the greater good. That is the hallmark of social justice, the greater good. What that means, individual rights and decisions are taken away, and all decisions must be based on society as a whole. This premise is impossible in a capitalistic society. But as you guys know, these assholes hate capitalism, even though it's made many of them rich. They want to implement socialism on just you, of course, just you. They'll still be living in freedom. The media pressure is increasing on the NFL and the NBA to do something about this virus. It's out of control. The NBA reacted by implementing new COVID policies to end the year. Merry Christmas, guys. We are now going to test you every day, whether you're vaccinated or not, and you must wear that mask. This is sure to be 100% ineffective. This policy is completely useless. It's nothing but a virtue signal. 52 players in the NBA have tested positive for COVID 3.0 this month, around 10% of the league. Apparently, this is enough for the New York Times to beg for a shutdown. It doesn't matter that most of these NBA players are asymptomatic. It doesn't matter that damn near 100% of the NFL and NBA are vaccinated. The New York Times recommended vaccine mandates for every player in the NFL and NBA. They're already vaccinated. What the hell are you talking about? Now, the NFL has reacted by postponing 3 games this weekend. We can't allow the Browns to play. Key starters have the COVID. Why don't we start postponing games every time someone has a sore throat? If a superstar in the NBA tears his Achilles, cancel the season. After all, it's just not fair for the team to play the rest of the season without their star player. They'll lose. For now, the Super Bowl is scheduled to be played in Los Angeles. If Roger Goodell were smart, he would move that bitch out of there immediately. It is not going to surprise me for New York City and California to head straight into a lockdown. And there should be outrage about this. There needs to be pressure on the NFL and the NBA to not fold to media pressure. Multiple experts have said COVID 3.0 is not nearly as dangerous. Cases are mild. Yes, it might be more contagious, but who gives a shit? If you're afraid of the COVID, stay home. Don't go to sporting events. That's your choice and your right. The rest of us shouldn't have to quit living our lives because you're afraid to walk out your front door. Now, this is just my opinion, but I think most people have written the COVID off. People are not taking it as seriously anymore. It's disappointing to see the NFL fold to the pressure. I expect it from the NBA. Adam Silver has proven numerous times that he does not have the ability to stand against the bullshit. But I expect more from Roger Goodell. I understand Cleveland is missing key players, but that's only because of your own ridiculous COVID protocols. And the damn protocols are constantly changing. Baker Mayfield tore into the NFL about their stupid protocols on Twitter yesterday. None of it makes sense. They're not following the science. These guys, professional athletes, they are the healthiest people on the planet. Most of them, like I said, are asymptomatic. If they catch the COVID, the case is mild at worst. Most wouldn't even know they had it if they weren't forcefully tested. Yet we continue to postpone games because of your bullshit protocol. Let me know what you guys think. Give me your thoughts on Bill Simmons bowing to woke Twitter and the overreaction again to COVID 3.0 by the NFL, the NBA, the media, politicians, by everybody. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.